Imagine that you and everything you know exists on a small island in the Pacific Ocean, where the height of science and technology is a sharpened rock on the end of a spear, and you have no reason to believe that endless ocean or sky have anything beyond them, other than your ancestors and the gods themselves, of course. Now imagine that one day gigantic shiny planes come roaring out of the sky, a sight you never conceived possible. And off these planes and massive gray battleships come strange looking white men, and these men have matching beautiful tan or green uniforms. They produce fire from the flick of a thumb with lighters, and their booming rifles kill pigs with amazing ease at ranges you never thought possible. Everything they do is loud and powerful. Rifles, jeeps, chainsaws, and bulldozers transform your island. Buildings and aircraft towers are erected of strange materials called metal and concrete. What would you conclude about these visitors? How could you wrap your mind around it? It'd be something like aliens landing in Washington, D.C. or Los Angeles. Except I think it was even more shocking for a primitive culture with zero understanding of technology. It's easy to see how a religion was formed around this amazing and also traumatic event in these natives' lives. Let's get into what the U.S. military was doing on these islands and the fallout from their extended visit. Look at this footage of two black tribesmen and their first time ever encountering a white man in the 1970s. It's a very funny interaction. I think that modern people are very spoiled with ease of travel and digital photos, etc. We forget that all of our ancestors 500 years ago lived their entire lives only seeing people of the same race. And that was true for every continent. Maybe you can appreciate just how alien encountering your first person of a different race would be. The 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor put the U.S. at war with Japan. The vast Pacific Ocean became the battlefield. The Navy with its aircraft carriers was engaged in a duel with the Japanese naval fleet. It was decided that building bases on strategically placed islands was the best way to advance U.S. Marines and the Navy towards Japan. When they arrived on these islands, they found peaceful natives more than willing to help them build these bases. They loved helping them unload the crates of cargo and were happy to do so for free. In exchange, the U.S. gave them cans of food, cigarettes, Coca-Cola, Jack Daniels, and so on. They prized items of Western manufacture, such as fountain pens, hats, shirts, and lighters. Surprisingly, the natives were even able to learn complex tasks on these various islands, such as operating bulldozers. Eugene Sledge, featured in the Pacific miniseries, even mentioned seeing a native driving a bulldozer in his book. The U.S. put to work some 10,000 natives in the Pacific. But what exactly was going on in the natives' heads? It is interesting that many islands came to similar conclusions about the visitors. The logic is simple. All of our ancestors live in the heavens and the great beyond. These visitors came from the heavens and brought us infinite gifts of impossible comprehension. They must have been sent here by our dead ancestors or the gods. Why else were they giving out crates of free food and gifts? They also observed that the white man doesn't seem to make any of these things. He just gets them off the ships and planes. He doesn't farm or carve the wooden rifles. They just appear from the heavens. In fact, all that the white soldiers seemed to do were bizarre rituals. They blew horns, marched about in formation, raised flags up poles, and occasionally shot their rifles into hills at paper squares. What was it for? Then, one day, unbeknownst to the natives, the war ended, and the soldiers packed up everything and left. A quiet overtook the islands. No more jeeps churning through the sand, no more horns, no more rifles. All of a sudden, islanders who had years of lazing about eating canned food, chocolate bars, and packaged desserts realized they would have to go back to hunting and fishing. Imagine the fights they had over the last remaining cigarettes and candy bars. Who angered the ancestors and stopped the cargo from coming, they wondered. Some island tribes concluded the evil white man had used his rituals to misdirect the cargo planes to the white people country. Other island communities, such as the John Frum cult, concluded that America was a sacred friend and that someday they will bring cargo to the islanders once more. Either way, the solution seemed to be universal. You have to do the white soldiers' rituals for the planes to return. So they made mock rifles out of sticks and built fake airport towers and began to march about. They raised American flags left behind and saluted them, and they even made sure the runways were maintained perfectly for airplane use. Some of the interesting recreations that cargo cult members have are large wooden fake airplanes and satellite discs. They also make themselves goggles and headphones out of wood. The astute observer probably noticed that these images I've been running are not from the 1940s or 50s. They are very modern. That is because the cargo cults, like the John Frum version, still exist to this very day. Efforts have been made to explain what happened to the islanders, and their numbers have severely dropped, but about 500 still exist. To them, John Frum was a soldier that originally brought all the cargo, and he promised to return with more if they stayed true to him in America. There is no record of a John Frum ever serving in the Pacific Theater, so the name is either made up or a bastardization of a real service member's name. The neighboring island has the Tom Navy cargo cult, which is another Messiah-like character who promises to return the cargo someday. Researching this story has made me very appreciative of what I have. I walked around my small house and couldn't stop thinking about all the amazing wonders I have in here versus the poor John Frum believers. Lighters, canned food, shoes, a refrigerator, spare headphones, and baseball hats. They would love this stuff. It's my understanding they are so isolated you need to charter a pontoon plane to send them something. They don't exactly have mailboxes. But God, I wish I could.